Is someone out there? I could use your assistance. I'm quite trapped in here.
Oh, my thanks. Hear me out if you want to escape this place. You were on the cart. I saw you before those witches caught us and tossed me in this stone box. Glad you're finally awake. Apologies for my ghastly appearance. I'm not feeling my best. Our precise location, I can only speculate. Somewhere in western Skyrim, I suppose. I was involved in my own investigation when the Ice Reach Coven Witch attacked. We can escape, but I desperately need your help first. The witches must have stashed my belongings nearby. Among them is a small flask. I can open the cell door. Once I do, I need you to retrieve that flask for me. I'll be too weak. And until I have it, you're in significant danger. I swear, I intend you no harm. If I don't get that flask back, however, my intentions won't matter. Retrieve it, then we'll break out of here together. Don't be afraid. This may be jarring, but it's a necessary part of the plan. You're free. Now please, hurry and retrieve my flask. Please retrieve the flask. It must be nearby. I can sense it. We can talk after. Did you find it? Give it to me. Yes, that's better. Thank you. I could feel my control slipping away. Yes, that was blood. But I swear there's no cause for alarm. Not every vampire is a monster. I'm part of a group that only drinks from willing donors. We regulate the actions of less scrupulous vampires. I belong to House Ravenwatch, one of the noble houses of Rivenspire. We adhere to the teachings of our founder, Count Verandis Ravenwatch. We take no blood by force. We help those in need, and we curtail the actions of more hostile vampires. We go where we're needed. I was investigating a burial site in Bankurai when I discovered smugglers stealing ancient remains. I followed the trail, ran into the witch, and, well, you know the rest. Now, we need to get out of here. Sort of. I regained enough of my senses when they carried me in here to remember the way out. It's pretty straightforward. I'll guide the way if you defend us from anyone who blocks our path. If we work together, I'm certain we can escape. Follow closely. You never know what's wandering around in these old barrows. I wonder why the witches are storing all these things. See if you can find a weapon. I'll grab something more suited to my skills. This place. Does all this equipment belong to the people buried here? If you can find a weapon, I believe it will benefit us. I'd prefer to avoid any fighting that we can. It's not really a strength of mine. I mean, I can hold my own, don't you worry, but, well, I don't have a great deal of experience with violence. Equip your weapon, is my point.
Well met, and good fortune. May luck follow you.
That looks dangerous enough. Now come on, this way.
What are you two doing out? Ergala still has need of you. I'll put you two milk drinkers back in your cage!
The only way out is through him. I'll support you from... Strike him with a light attack! Hit him again! Hit him again!
You're fast, but you can't withstand this!
Don't let his heavy... Strike him while he's off balance!
Ah!
Block that attack! Hit him again! Get your guard up! Strike back!
You can't block what you can't see!
Break free from that stun! Shake it off! You can get out of that! Another heavy attack! Interrupt him, quick! Press your advantage with a heavy attack! Interrupt that strike! Interrupt the attack!
Time to end this!
Finish him off so we can escape! The smell of blood is overwhelming. We should move on. You handled yourself well. Not sure I would have made it past that savage without your assistance. We'll be out of these crypts soon enough. More weapons. Grab anything you think might be useful. The witch's attack left me nearly senseless, but I recall that I was dragged this way. You take the lead, and I'll help you the best I can. The witch's attack left me nearly senseless, but I recall that I was dragged this way. The witch's attack left me nearly senseless, but I recall that I was dragged this way. A giant frostbite spider. Kill it, my friend! I've heard tales of Skyrim's enormous frost spiders, but to see one up close, quite disturbing. The door ahead. You go first. The witch who captured us belongs to something called the Ice Reach Coven. These caverns make the perfect hiding spot for the group. Not sure I would have ever found it if they hadn't dragged me down here. We should keep going. Over here! We're almost to the exit. Over here! We're almost to the exit.
Quick, hide! Look up on the bridge!
As you'll see, the storm's effects will be quite devastating.
As long as everything is ready for the first harvest, Organa, I will be pleased.
Very curious. Let's talk for a moment. That was Urgala, leader of this branch of the Ice Reach Coven. She's the witch who locked us in the barrow. The others take their orders from her. I'm not sure, but I believe he's one of my kind. They mentioned a devastating storm. We need to find out exactly what they have planned. My apologies, but we're going to have to postpone our escape. We'll make an investigator out of you yet. I need to figure out how those stolen remains, the Ice Reach Coven, and that vampire are connected. Let's catch up to Urgala and her guest, and see what we can find out. Sometimes you have to throw caution to the wind and go where the investigation leads you. Let's catch up to Matron Urgala and see what we can learn. Sometimes you have to throw caution to the wind. Sometimes you have to throw caution. Witches and their servants are everywhere. We could sneak through if you wish to avoid more battles. Sometimes you have to throw caution. Sometimes you have to throw caution. Sometimes you have to throw... They should be just up ahead. Hurry! Sometimes you have to throw caution. Sometimes you have to throw... Look, the sky! What have they done? We must reach that clearing! You'd think with all the truly bizarre events of my life, not much would unnerve me. Yet an enormous arcane storm roiling in the sky still manages to do the trick. If we hurry, we can find the source.
Finally, the Reach will rise up!
We should step up patrols with the visitor present.
Wish we could sleep on beds, not piles of hay.
We need more catgut for our bows.
Did you see that fiend devour those skeevers?
The Hierophants serve us well.
A door up ahead. Looks like the way up to the clearing. You'd think with all the truly bizarre events of my life, not much...
We cannot fall behind schedule!
You'd think with all the truly bizarre... This place is thick with Coven members. Be on your guard. You'd think with all the truly bizarre... You'd think with all the truly... Those urns. They bear the same symbol as the ones I saw in Banquerai. You'd think with all the truly bizarre...
They tossed new meat down into the crepes.
You'd think with all the...
The Harrow Storm
You
retreat.
can't stop that storm unless we deal with Matron Urgala. She won't stand aside, so you need to kill her!
You escaped, no matter, for soon all of Skyrim will fall! Your efforts mean nothing. The harvest will succeed.
The storm! Somehow that pike is involved! Destroy it, quickly! You did it. The storm's dissipated. I wish we could have learned more before we killed Matron Urgala. I still don't understand what the Coven has planned. And it's the not knowing that worries me. That's true, and we stopped that storm. My investigations have led to even darker corners, but progress has been made. Here, consider this a stipend from Ravenwatch. For your valuable assistance, of course. Now let's get out of here. The Ice Reach Coven's presence in Western Skyrim concerns me. But we need to keep moving. The path down is through those doors. Outside, I'll point you towards Solitude. Go to the city and warn them. Whatever the Coven has planned, it didn't end here. Not right now. Other members of the Ravenwatch came here ahead of me. They'll be interested in the vampire we saw, and I need to get word to them. Besides, I want to follow the trail while it's fresh, so it only makes sense that you warn Solitude. We're in the hold of Hofengar in western Skyrim. Solitude is its capital city, and the seat of High King Svargrim. If we can find any help against the Coven, it will be there. Head to Solitude and let the authorities know what happened here. The Nords don't tolerate Reachmen in their territory. Once you warn the gods, I'm sure High King Svargrim will dispatch his troops. The Coven's threat is as good as done. But just in case, I'll tell my fellow Ravenwatch what happened here. As I said, my investigation began in an ancient burial site in Bankurai. Drogakin were using similar urns, filling them with remains. Most disturbing, the ash and bones belonged to a dark army that once roamed the land. The Grey Host. I have no idea. When I stumbled into this nest of Coven witches, I never expected to find a connection to the Drogakin and the burial urns. And that vampire we saw. There's something more at play than we know. We need to find out what. The Nords don't tolerate Reachmen in their territory. This way, my friend. The road ahead will take you straight to Solitude. Go, warn Solitude of the danger. I need to make contact with the Ravenwatch. Once again, thank you for assisting me. Without you, I'd still be locked away. And who knows what damage that Herostorm would have caused. Follow this road east, and you should reach Solitude in short order. Until we meet again, fare you well.
There's no time. Take this. Keep it safe. Information. The Ice Reach Coven. At work in the west. Just need more proof. Go! They're coming! Don't trust them. Only Lyris. She's...
You there! What did that fugitive tell you? Who are you? Another spy? What did this lying Easterner say to you? Assisting a fugitive is a crime in Hafingar Hold. Unless you want to find out how we deal with traitors and spies, tell me what he said to you. Ice Reach Coven? Ridiculous. The only threat to the west are those damn spies from Eastern Skyrim, conspiring against our king. Forget whatever nonsense this skeever told you, and be on your way. You hear more talk like his, report it to the guard. Don't start spreading rumors about Reach witches. You go panicking the good folk of Solitude, and I'll toss you in a cell. And how is it you know so much about this witch work? And my grandfather killed 12 giants with his bare hands. But at least he had the good grace to string a few of their teeth around his neck before he made the claim. Got any proof? Or do you want to reconsider making a false report, eh? The word of an outsider isn't worth mammoth spit. Keep sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, and you'll wind up just like him. Mind your own business, or you'll find that Solitude doesn't take kindly to instigators and strangers. Go on. Just remember, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Nine times out of 10, the cynics are right.
Living outside the city as I do, I see folk from other holds and other lands pass through on their way to Solitude. They're a curious bunch. Some of them travel only by night.
Since coming here, I keep dreaming about someone staring into my window, watching me sleep. Oof, now I'm shivering again. But if I ever do see someone doing that, I'll blind that miscreant before he can even blink.
Stay back! I'll do it! I'll stab you! I mean it! One step closer, and I'll stick you like a hawker! I don't know any Brondold. That is what I told the guards, and that is what I'm telling you. I don't want any more trouble. You make me stab you, and it's my word against yours. Dead? Stone's mercy! And I'm next, aren't I? I promise. I don't know anything. I won't make any trouble. I'll disappear. I don't even like it here. You'll never see me again. He did not tell me a lot. Said he was tracking some bad people. Asked me to keep an eye out for any unusual comings and goings. He'd come by now and then with a sweet roll and a few coins for my trouble. He was nice. The last time we spoke, it was about the men with the job postings. A pair of wolves in sheep's clothing, trying to blend in, but still off around the edges. Same with their horses, sheared mountain mares. Come from the Reach, I wager. Flyers. They were hanging them at the inn around the city. Something about a lucrative opportunity in the Druidek Mountains. I really did not pay them a lot of attention. I was more interested in the men distributing them. Take Brondo's horse and run before someone less friendly comes to find me. Bron was going to take me back east after he finished here. I want to live where strangers are welcomed with a smile instead of a scowl. I hear Wilhelm is like that. We are stuck between the despot of Markarth and the Scold King of the East. Both sniff around like wolves, waiting for a moment of weakness to strike. Not a day goes by without a threat of war. It is exhausting living this way. They'd be wise to. The only time Reachmen and Nords meet is to kill each other. I always heard they were raiders and barbarians. No interest in honest labor, or writing for that matter. Not the sort to post job notices. Who knows? Maybe they really do need laborers. Can't imagine Reachmen would hire Nords so. It doesn't make a lot of sense. A wild land full of wild folk, located south and west of here. It's changed hands between Reachmen and the Nords more times than I can count. But they control the territory now. Seeing Reachmen wandering the streets of Solitude, it makes me nervous. You'd feel the same if you knew the tales of the fall of Markarth. What the Reachmen do to folks they capture. Better to slice your own throat than let those barbarians take you alive. If they raid our hold, just run and don't look back. They'd be wise to. The only time Reachmen and Nord, who knows? Maybe they really do need laborers, flyers. Take Brondo's horse, and we're stuck between the despot of Markarth and a wild land full of wild. You'd feel the same if you knew the tales of the fall of flyers.
I'd rather be cracking heads.
The people here in Solitude give useless advice. I don't understand how putting honey into a jar, burying it at the site of the last death, and sprinkling the area with my hearthfire ashes is supposed to keep my livestock from being killed. I've been here for days now. Someone or something keeps visiting my farm and killing livestock, so I thought the king might send some hunters out to help me track 'em down. So far, no audience allowed. What keeps our king so busy he can't see me? I've been here for days now. Someone...
I'm sorry, but the impresario isn't in right now. She said something about needing more feathers. Or was that flowers? Please do come back soon. I'm sure she'll have something wonderful to share with you then.
Welcome! You stand amidst the Circle of Champions, a guild formed to test the greatest fighters of the realm in games of skill. Do you have what it takes?
Pit demons are doing well, but then they've always been great on defense. I'd like to see the offense pick it up a little. They're still the best, though. Dolanith doesn't know what she's talking about.
A trader told me dragons fly freely and elsewhere. If I recall correctly, Skyrim lore is filled with dragons, but I haven't seen any here yet. Still, I'll take my chances if it means I get to experience a wonderful and unique meal.
You have that gleam in your eye, looking to add furnishings to your home?
Though I'm stuck vending goods, you aren't. Go hit your opponents hard for me when you're done buying my wares.
No second-hand goods here. The latest furniture to make your home fresh.
I heard rumors of witches doing some terrible things over in Ice Reach. You in that fight? I prefer the arena, but if some witch heads need cracking, I'd oblige.
I have it on good authority that my gear has kept many a person from an early trip to Sovngarde. Take a look.
Where's that half-witted horker? He's trying to skeeve out of the deal.
I killed a man for mistreating his horse in front of me. And I remember every mount that comes through here. I'll remember you too.
We should throw dice for gold. Interested?
On my way to Solitude, I saw a fight between some Nords and several fetchers clad in fur. Well, I suppose they both had fur, but the latter had more. When one of the archers shot an arrow my way, I chose to leave. Quickly.
Work, work, work.
Hey there! Do you know anything about bottles? Never mind.
You swallow enough of my drink and you'll forget where you are.
If you're here for the hunting, avoid places marked by 3 sticks tied with a green ribbon. Those are sacred spots. Only those blessed by the bear may hunt there.
A lifetime of fighting is finally catching up with me.
I heard a tale about a man and his ghost adventuring companion. Now I kind of want one for my inn. Might keep us company, you know?
All praise his Rolliness, the Patriarch. Join the First Church of the Holy Sweet Roll today and taste the glory of this wondrous confection for eternity.
My axe handle broke. It's bad luck, I tell you.
My sales have been up of late. I think people are afraid of something.
Been hearing about all kinds of bad omens. Watch your back out there. Something's stirring.
The best gifts come within black sweet roll boxes. Taste the glory of pastry today by joining the First Church of the Holy Sweet Roll.
So we worship the divines here in solitude. Pay heed to the old ways. Some still adhere to them and will find you wanting if you don't respect them, even unknowingly. Go listen to a bard sing, the Song of Gods. That'll help you.
A lifetime of fighting is finally catching up with me.
A dark elf brewer told me of a dark ale that causes no hangovers. It's called Percipient Admonitions. Odd name, but if you ever learn how to make it, let me know. You swallow enough of my drink and you'll forget where...
You'll want to avoid the fish from Rebit. It's likely several days old. Trust your nose. I heard a tale about a man and his ghost adventuring...
I spent most of my life hunting game, but that gets boring after a while. Now I hunt down lawbreakers. I'll be back at it again shortly. Try not to get on my list.
Seek not pies or cakes or lesser pastries. No, only the splendor of the sweet roll is worthy of your reverence. You don't want nasty tummy aches, do you? Because too many of those lesser baked goods lead to them. The sweet roll does not. The best gifts come within black sweet roll boxes.
I should have tried to kill that sea giant the moment I laid eyes on it. I should have tried to kill that sea...
Did you just see that Argonian? The one with all the cats following him? People insist he's just my imagination, but he's not. Given that some folk here believe snakes are manifestations of Orky, how could they question something like this? Watch out for the beggars. They're in league with the local thieves, and keep an eye on people and places for them.
I may have been discredited in the Solitude Mages Guild, but they know nothing about the Khajiit. House cats are Khajiit. I can prove it. Watch out for the beggars.
Help!
You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I look, empty? You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait. Look, empty. You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait, that came out wrong. Look, empty rooms are just bad for business. The upkeep alone costs me more than the place is worth. But I think we can come to a sort of arrangement. And not the sort of arrangement that involves a few drinks. Let me be clear about that. I need someone to improve the reputation of my properties. A hero type who people look up to. And I have a feeling about you. You've done something great and are probably on the way to do something greater. Seems like we can help each other here. Yeah, all right. Details. I can see how this might be a bit sketchy, but don't worry. The inn room is well kept, conveniently located. I know you adventuring types wanting a home in every town. This would be a nice addition to your holdings. No catch. I just need someone to freshen up my image. And my gut tells me you're the one to do that. As long as you're not planning on turning it into a skooma den or an outlaw's refuge, the room is all yours. Oh, sure. You can set up some crafting stations, house your pets, display any treasures or trophies you've come upon in your adventures. Hey, you can even set up a target dummy to practice combat. Just don't demolish the place and we're good. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the deed and key to the room. Took me a while, but I finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more time in the sewers than I had hoped for, but hey, that's business. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation, I'm sure you shouldn't have any trouble with the neighbors. If you do, remember death threats are not the way to go. Had a spot of trouble when my last tenant started sending those out. Nope, just make yourself at home. Spruce things up a bit. Honestly, I can't wait to see how you arrange the place. Hopefully you'll end up with a few less Daedric shrines than another former tenant of mine. Like 0. 0's a good number. Oh, what a relief. I can't tell you how hard it is to wash bloodstains off of cobble floors. But that's not even the worst of it. I've had tenants cram their rooms with the wildest things. Mounts, foliage, assistants. I mean, it's an inn room. I own this and several other properties throughout Tamriel. It pays to diversify. Of course, that means I've got to look out for a variety of troubles, too. But hey, no one ever said the real estate business was easy.
Lady Laurent. Her writings are certainly exciting, I'll grant you that. But the academic quality of her conclusions leave much to be desired. Fascinating. It seems that Herminius Sophis is doing some significant work out in the Alakir Desert. I so wish I were a field scholar sometimes. Of course, every time I attempted it, the results were disastrous. I need to ask a few questions of a historical figure. Unfortunately, she's been dead for quite a long time. Any chance you happen to know a friendly necromancer who charges reasonable rates? Why do Nords have such terrible handwriting? And Argonians! Don't get me started on the quill work of Argonians. I'm afraid I depleted my supply of paper and ink, and also quill tips, and sealing wax. Bring some with you the next time you visit, please. A historian is nothing without the tools of her trade. This is interesting. An academic from House Ravenwatch took an interest in my work. Funny. I never knew a noble house to be interested in scholarly pursuits before. Historical vandalism! The author of this piece cited his sources in the absolutely wrong format. What do they teach at the universities these days, I wonder? Look what I found on the Mages Guild shelves. It's a genealogy of the Inequina monarchs. There are hundreds of entries to... Wait, you're not listening to me, are you? I think I found a lost fragment from Alanya of Alinor's Tamrielic calligraphy, but I'm just not sure. Know anyone else who would have written about Khajiiti ink making? What is this word? Sky's horn or sky shorn? What would that even mean? Sometimes academic endeavors can be so perplexing. Most scholars turn to the Mages Guild when they want to conduct significant research, but I found the Fighters Guild to be a surprising treasure trove of information. And outlaws' refuges. But leave your gold pouch at home if you decide to visit. Definitely my handwriting, but this makes no sense. Oh, pages are out of order. Don't mind me. You'd think historical figures would do a better job of writing down their reasoning before they commit some epic mistake to paper. You would think. Alas, no. And it falls to historians such as I to clean up the mess. Don't just stand there. What's the name of the 6th king of Camlorn? Quick now, this is important. Cup, porcelain, recent Cyrodiilic style. A strange residue at the Oh, never mind. That's last week's tea. I received a letter from Verita Numida herself today. She actually read my essay. She disagreed. Don't just stand there. What's the name of the 6th king of Camlorn? Listen closely. This is very important. The next time you visit a dungeon, don't forget to read anything you find. Plaques, scrolls, dusty tomes. You never know what you're going to learn from the words of history. Oh, I am so disorganized. I could use an assistant to help me catalog all my books and letters. Any chance you're No, forget I mentioned it. Oh, where did I put that map? It's ridiculously ironic to misplace a map, don't you agree? I came across a gold chalice covered in Chimeri inscriptions once. Unfortunately, it was in a cave full of poisonous mushrooms, with walls that dripped with molten lava, and guarded by a horde of goblins. So no, I wasn't able to translate it. I need to ask a few questions of a historical figure. Unfortunately, she's been dead. I think I found a lost fragment from Alanya of Alinor's Tamrielic. Historical vandalism! Fascinating. It seems that Herminius Sophis is doing some significant work out in the Alakir Desert. I so wish I were a field scholar. Lady Laurent. Her writings are certainly exciting, I'll grant you that. But the academic quality of her conclusions leave much... Oh, where did I put that map? It's definitely my handwriting, but this makes... Why do Nords have such terrible handwriting? You'd think historical figures would do a better job of writing. I received a letter from Verita Numida herself today. She actually read my essay. She disagrees with every one of my findings, of course.
Am I dying?
I'm rather busy right now.
I should sleep like a log tonight.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
Poke them, slice them, bleed them dry. With storm's blades, they'll never know why. No, that doesn't work either. I'd want the person I'm killing to know why.
I've seen many a Nord carving Hawker tusks. I tried my hand at it. Surprisingly soothing.
I feel like someone's watching me. I have ever since I got here. It's unsettling. You're probably... You ever hear about someone cursed to have Droga follow them? Because I think that's happening to me. Oh, you're probably thinking I should pull myself together and sell clothing. So sorry. Thank goodness you're here. Would you mind sticking around for a bit? I think something bad's about to happen. Plus, it never hurts to see what outfits I'm selling. You ever hear about someone cursed to have Droga follow them? Because... Thank goodness you're here. I feel like someone's watching me. I have ever since I got here. It's unsettling. You're probably here to buy clothes, right?
I hear the basement of the Blue Palace has a new ghost. A couple months ago, one of the kitchen staff fell down, hit her head, and died. Oh, but you probably want to buy some armor, don't you? It's hard to get good metal to work with during the winter. Trade slows down a lot. I wish our noble leaders would fix that. But luckily enough, I have wares to sell if you're interested. Some Bard's college students tried to sneak into the Blue Palace every now and again. Last week, one of them hinted that they'd buy lockpicks if I had them. Here's a hint. I don't have lockpicks. I hear the basement of the Blue... Some Bards...
But the alternative is worse.
I'm not normally one to put feelings over reason, but it feels like someone's dancing on my grave. Again. I'm working with hawker skin to see if I can turn it into a good leather option for lighter armor. It's difficult, to say the least, but I'm getting closer. I'm not normally one to put feelings over reason, but...
Here to buy? Sell? I'm here to sell. Buy! Oh, that sounded better in my head. No wonder the Bard's College didn't take me. Fear enveloped her for the first time in her life. No, she said to Lord Kills-a-lot. Ah, Horker's arse, I can't remember the next part. By my blades, Lord Kills-a-lot would approve. Fear enveloped her for...
This one woke from a dream of darkness and ice. Perhaps night horror is a better way to describe it. Ratzin's blood still runs cold thinking of it. But then, this one's blood runs cold every day in solitude. The halls of the dead intrigue Ratzin. What rights do the Nords hold in those halls? Why hide from the light of the moons? Why is this one in solitude? Ratzin asks himself the same question. Dragons in Rimmen and Senchal made this one venture far. Yet dragon mounds exist here in Skyrim. Can one ever truly flee dragons? Why is this one in solitude?
What do you want?
Morality is a fool's game. Have you heard the story of Ingol and the sea ghosts, where Ysgramor wrestles spirits? That's why we call those waters the Sea of Ghosts, you know. One day I'll swim among them myself. I haven't heard from my cousin in a few months. Last time we spoke, he said something about looking for Blackreach. He's a hardy warrior, of course, but sometimes I wonder why he goes looking for trouble. One day, despite what my sister says about any place that's not solitude, I want to see the mysterious Mermaid of Anvil statue. Apparently, it was there before the city was even built. Strange, right?
I eat well and stay fit.
I haven't heard from my cousin in a few months.
I'm not actually from Solitude. I grew up in several cities. Maybe after I make enough coin, I can fund a trip back to one of them and, I don't know, sleep for a few weeks. I'm supposed to be far away from here, yet I'm not. Instead, I sell things so that I might one day leave this place. Please, consider buying something. I saw a line of skeevers leaving a ship in an orderly fashion the other day. When I told one of the locals, she gasped and ran off. Now I'm worried about her.
Wasting time is an important part of life.
I came here from Morthal. Interestingly enough, both the Nords here and the ones in Morthal feel about the same way toward each other. It wouldn't take much to have them at each other's throats. I wonder if they realize that. I suspected that I wouldn't find much about Pereide here in Solitude, but I can't leave any location unverified. So far, no books, no cultists, no bardic lore, nothing. I must be missing something.
Have you ever seen a vampire? Well, I did once. Can't quite remember where, but it'll come to me. I swear I saw some werewolves on my way to Solitude too. Or maybe that was in Glenumbra. Feel free to give me any of your unwanted mead, friend. I'm happy to be in a land of glorious mead. Even beggars benefit from it here in Solitude. It warms me during the coldest nights. But the scowls of these stranger-hating Nords warm me even more.
Hey there! Do you know anything about bottles? Never. Hey there!
I'd avoid Morthal. They're solitary, rude, and think they know best. Try to tell them how to do something better, and they'll push back so hard your neck will ache from the whiplash. Don't know if you've been out to Dragon Bridge yet, but I'm off duty from there. Glorious terrain, fresh air. Miss it already. People say Solitude's seen more travelers passing through as of late. I wonder what the draw is. Maybe the mead?
I've got a lot to do here.
Lightning struck a tree outside town recently. Poor Ilfet took a splinter of trunk to the leg. Bad sign, that. I made a staff out of the rest. Care to see? Ever hear of a Solitude soldier getting a sliver of wood stuck in their nail while fighting? No. And you never will as long as they use my weapons. I use wood from Hufengar when making my weapons. Anything else is inferior and, dare I say, cursed. Too many have fallen from using material from other sources.
Solitude. A glorious place to work with metals. But contrary to my expectations, none will teach me how to pronounce dwarven names. Some fellow dropped off a book detailing smithing techniques that were used by dwarves in that one ruin. I'd say it, But the tongue, it tangles. I'm quite sure that when a dwarf sneezed, they used that sound to name something around them. How else do you explain Enchu? Not you. I'll get it right someday.
I tried to read that book. The covers were too far apart.
Too much to do and too little time.
The last time we had a festival here, I danced all night after selling out of food. Folks seem grim these days. I might not have as many dance partners next feast. I hear that some warriors learn to dance to help them with their battle training. Perhaps I should seek them out and leave this stall to my sister. Some folk are so dull. Imagine being told that dancing is not appropriate for someone who makes and sells food. Not true.
Someone passed through here with several cats the other day and didn't buy a thing. I spent the next hour sneezing. Ooh. You'll make up for their lack of consideration, yes?
I've had just about enough of this.
The temple priests talk about the less fortunate. I've worked hard all my life, but I barely have 2 coins to cling together. Care to help an honest vendor out and look at my wares? Let's fix the problems here in solitude before helping other holds. When have they ever helped us? Oh, but you're probably here to support your local merchants and buy?
I've got a lot to do here.
Interested in exotic wares? I have all manner of goods for sale. Just, please, keep any horses at a distance. They make it hard for me to breathe. Many goods for sale. Here! Pardon me, please. I had an unfortunate run-in with a horse. Hard to breathe now. Ready to buy? I promise you I'm not sick. It's horses. A bunch of impatient folk left town on them and ran through here first.
I can't wait to get home and romp with my dogs. Until then, I'm here to sell all kinds of useful goods. Quality, too.
Nothing is certain until it happens.
You never know what I'll put up for sale each day. That's one of the fun things about being a merchant. Though I love my time with my dogs even more. While you're browsing my goods, think about this. Adding an 8th dog to my pack of 7. Wondrous idea, isn't it?
Have you found the delight that is solitude brown sauce? It reminds me of licorice worms. While I don't sell that, I do have other wares that might appeal to you.
Some say the locals here are aloof. I think it's just a matter of listening and empathizing. Come, tell me what you need, and I'll do my best to help you out. I've noticed a change in the flow of mercantile goods of late, but that doesn't impact my wares. Distinctive goods for discerning people.
Between carving animals from tusks and selling goods, I've little time for exploration. So it goes. Care to look at what I have today? People bring me hawker tusks to carve into animals during my off hours, yet I've not seen a hawker. Been busy here selling gear, food and more. I'm carving a mammoth to send home to my family. The native merchants give me odd looks now and again, but I'm used to it. Speaking of merchants, care to see my wares?
If you don't see me here selling my guild's goods, I'm usually off climbing trees somewhere. Maybe in another year or so, I'll wander off to a new area for some fresh challenges. Since being assigned here to sell for my guild, I've noticed that the Nords revere the divines, but also have strange superstitions. Perhaps they've been isolated too long. I found the most wonderful treat in a tree I climbed the other day. Honey! The bees had a hive tucked inside. I'm so glad my guild brought me here to sell goods for them.
I hope to one day join the ranks of the Bard's College, though my pieces still aren't as polished as I'd like. In the meantime, my guild has many wonderful things you should own. Dancing among the flowers fine, singing a song that calls to him. Oh, pardon. Just practicing for my Bard's College audition. Let me show you some items for sale. The talent at the Bard's College is astounding. After you're done looking at my wares, be sure to visit them.
We should throw dice for gold. Interested?
Next time I'm in the field, I think I'll bring a great warhammer. Or two. Welcome to our hall. Are you familiar with the guild? The Fighters Guild. You should consider joining up. We have a new guildmaster and a new singular purpose. Why don't we talk for a moment? Excellent. I know we'll all be drawing blades together soon enough. Now, what can I tell you? Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains, plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights. Ha! There's a good question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir. Then let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
You can thank High King Erling for the sturdy outer walls of Solitude. Each stone is blessed, so it's not just the wall that protects us. The divines do as well. We didn't build Solitude on the Great Arch originally. No, we started near it, letting it shelter us from the winds. I have not missed the annual burning of King Olaf. Nor do I ever intend to. What a festival!
Hail.
Private game. Get lost.
A fascinating application of the technique.
I hear the Riften Ratway has a lot of skeever races. Seems dull to me. Now, Horker races, those'll get the heart pounding. Saw a bat hanging from a tree limb in daylight the other day. I remember my uncle saying that means much blood will feed the soil. Makes me regret putting aside my sword practice for years. Looking to play a game of chance? If so, avoid the Iron Priest. His games are rigged. Pretty sure he's from Karthwatch, too.
I could use a break.
One lovely Nord here has the silver moth of Debella tattooed on his back, the wings spread out, rippling as his shoulders move. I hope to show him some of my less visible marks soon. Such art should be shared freely. I asked a Nord about one of the 3 slashes inked on her right bicep. Apparently, she got it after avenging her brother, who died hunting a bear. She ripped that bear apart with her bare hands. Visceral? Yes. Tonight, I learn about the next mark. You've seen how the Nords mark themselves. I'm here to study that phenomenon. I intend to learn how they showcase their strength and vigor. It can be breathtaking, I assure you. One lovely Nord here has the silver moth.